Hey guys, it's Sim and this is Wrestling Unlimited as it is Sunday, March 3rd, 2024, and tonight was AEW Revolution. It was Sting's last match. It was a wild one, if I do say so myself. Like, we'll get into it, but that match at the end of the show, oh my goodness. Also, I need to fix one thing here on the stream before we continue. Give me just one quick second, guys. It'll take me literally 2 seconds to fix this. Why can't I fix it? Here we go. Let's see. Give me 1 second. There we go. Now everything should be good. Also, remember, guys, after the show, but at the end of the show, towards the end, we'll be taking your phone calls. That way we can hear what you guys have to say about tonight's AEW Revolution. And now this doesn't want to save what I was trying to fix. Here we go. All right. Now this should be good. 10. Sorry about that, guys. Just have to fix one thing because for some reason it didn't want to save properly with the what's it called? The ticker at the bottom with all the results. Didn't want to save properly, so just have to fix that really quickly. For some reason I didn't want to save the last match of the night, but it's all good. Young Bucks Tag Team Championships. Heck, I should have just shared my screen and showed you guys my process. Some people like that stuff. Some people don't. But what did you guys think of the show? Let me know in the comments. If you're watching later, if you're watching live, let me know in the live chat what you thought of AEW Revolution. I thought overall it was a really good show. Now, you take that a couple different ways. I thought it was a good show. But as far as like, there was a lot of stuff on the show to me that didn't really matter. It was just a lot of good matches for matches' sake, if that really makes sense. But overall, I thought it was a fun show, an easy show to watch. It flew by. Started it. If you talk about watching, so just the main show went from 5, 6, 7, 8. The main show was 4 hours long. But then you had the hour-and-a-half pre-show that we had as well. Okay, hold on. We got a guy in the live chat saying 4.8. Where the hell are you getting a 0.8? What? 0.8? No, it's 4.5, 5. There's no 0.8. Where do you justify not giving it the extra 0.2? Like, that makes, not to sound rude or be mean, that sounds dumb and makes absolutely no sense at all to give it a 4.8. You're going to give it a 4.8. You're giving it a 10. You're giving it a 5. You're giving it a 5. Like, don't even try. Like, what held it back on those 0.2? Also, I do want to thank Daniel Molinax for the super chat. He says, wow, what a night and a main event. Thank you, Sting. I also want to say thank you to, and it's going to not show me now. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Oh, why is it not showing me? Oh, it's not letting me see you who resubbed as a member. For some reason, it's not showing me. That's weird. Like, I can see it, but it's right at the top of the chat, so I can't. Hold on. I'm going to have to do it this way. Because I want to shout out people that support the channel. So give me 1 second. The live chat. Scroll it up. Take you to oh, it's also Daniel. Okay. Daniel Molinax also re-upped as a channel member. He says thank you, Sting. I really do appreciate that. And all the support you guys do here for the channel to keep it going. But yeah, AEW Revolution I felt was a good show, but there's a lot of things on the show where I'm just like, yeah, that was predictable. That was predictable. Where are we going now? I don't understand that one. So good show, great matches. Almost every match was great, but it's just like I'd rate it a 4 if I'm gonna. And I don't like doing star ratings most of the time, but if I was gonna rate it, I'd give it a 4 just because a lot of good matches. But story wise, okay, now what? Like a lot of things kind of left where it's like, oh no, there's more questions than answers. What's Tony Storm gonna do next? What's up with Hangman and the stuff with him and Swerve? Did he really tap out just so Swerve didn't win? Like that would be stupid. So we'll get into all of it. We'll talk about all of it. But first off, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below or donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of 2 different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for 4 games, and you always get 1 free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember to head over to YouTube and do a couple things for us over there. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos. That way you know when we go live or we post on the community tab. Also, remember to hit that join button to become a channel member. And remember that you can donate a super chat in the live chat to make sure your comment, question, or concern does get read live on the air. And finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game like Expeditions of Mud Runner, maybe you're getting Skull and Bones, maybe you're getting an older game like Sifu, or you're claiming the free game, Aerial Knights Never Yield. Use this code right here, PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Hell, wanting a Lady Gaga on Fortnite? Check out the new mode for Lego Fortnite. They got a Gone Fishing update. When you're going to do all that, use this code right here, PWUNLIMITED, for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. So with that, let me see here. What does this John guy have to say about his minus 0.2? Like, how do you minus? That's. And I hope I don't come off as an asshole or a dick here, but it's like, how does that even make any sense? Oh, now it's showing me the correct stuff for you guys that are supporting. Thank you to Killjoy Army for re-upping and becoming a new member on the channel. Really do appreciate that. Like, how do you justify 0.8, a 4.8? No, you round that bullshit up. I hope I don't come off as an asshole or a dick here, but I'm just saying, you round that up to a 5. If you could justify saying 4.5, but anything above 4.5, if you're going to try and, you round up. You round up. What did we learn in 2nd grade? 5. 0.1 to 0.5, you round down. 0.6 to 0.9, you round it up. So you're a 5 out of 5. If you're going to say 4.8, you're a 5 out of 5. We learned that in freaking 2nd grade. Rounding your fractions and your decimal points. So you can't say, what does he say here? Tony Storm won. That's what I gave minus. Okay, you didn't like the Tony Storm match. But if you're only going to go minus 0.2, then you're really giving it a 5. You're really giving it a 5 out of 5 and not a 4.8 out of 5. No, we round up. 0.5 and 0.1 to 0.5 is a 4. Well, 0.1 to 0.4 is a 4. Then you got a 0.5. 0.6 to 9, that's a 5. That's a freaking 5. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm also pulling up the Wikipedia because I didn't get the times for the matches, but I do want to let you guys know how long certain matches went. And I will say the Ospreay Takeshita match just barely was the longest match of the night. The Blackpool Combat Club, a lot of matches went over 20. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Well, not a lot. Almost 4 matches went over 20. The Eddie Kingston Bryan Danielson match was 1945. And there was a couple of matches that went over 20. Every match went over 12. No sub 12-minute matches. As far as the show does go, we did kick it off on the pre-show. I didn't fully get notes for the pre-show matches because I was cooking dinner while those shows were going on. I was grilling and smoking a tri-tip on the grill. But the Acclaimed and the Bullet Club Gold, the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, took on Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, and Private Party. And Willie Mack. Wasn't a big fan of this match because, well, it was just a pre-show party match with a bunch of guys doing a bunch of things that didn't matter. And yeah, this match kind of sucked. It was kind of clunky. It was kind of just all over the place. And at times, it was like there was no structure. People were just doing things to do things. And I didn't know who was legal ever. I had no clue once you were about 3 minutes into this match who was the legal competitor at all. Like, I had no clue who was legal. But I didn't get any notes. There was a spot where Jeff Jarrett went for the strut. And then everybody on the outside on his team was doing the strut as well. And it was funny because you have all these guys doing the strut, like standing there almost about the same height. And then Satnam up here. And they're all doing a strut. And then you had Sanjay dressed like a Private Party guy, which I was going to say Private Party's entrance is not for children. Not for children. Because Mark Quinn comes out, he just starts air humping. Like, what? You think I want my 9-year-old, 10-year-old daughter to see that? Not really. Not really. But in the end, the Bang Bang Scissor Gang did win. Jay White, did cut a promo afterwards just saying he's the leader of this group. And that he's a former world champion. And I'm just like, yeah, former world champion that they are ruining. You really are not getting used to your potential here. Like Jay White is just being so underutilized. It is a goddamn shame. A goddamn shame the way they are using Jay White. Come on. He's one of the best there is, both in the ring and on the mic. He is world champion material. And granted, you could say, well, they did have him go for the world title already. They did do that thing already. But it's like, I think you relegate him to the pre-show. You relegate him to a ROH title that nobody cares about. God, come on. Come the fuck on. So then Darby Allin is being interviewed backstage. It's Darby, the doctor. They're with Lexi and best friends. And the doctor's like, kind of advised Orange Cassidy not to wrestle tonight, but I told him the only way I can clear him is if he tapes up his back and his ribs. Then I'll clear him. What? What is... And granted, take this as someone who's stupid or something. What is the tape really helping? I know what kinesio tape does and what it helps with, but when you're in that kind of a situation where they're trying to say you shouldn't be wrestling, you're that banged up, but if you tape yourself up, you'll be good to go. What really is the kinesio tape helping for in that situation? I know what it helps for down the line, and I'll read you the description of kinesio tape. Hold on. Kinesio tape. And I'm spelling this way wrong, but hopefully Google knows what I'm trying to say. It does know. Kinesio tape facilitates the body's natural healing power to help alleviate discomfort and treat a variety of medical conditions. Kinesio tape is a thin, flexible tape that was developed to aid muscle movement and enhance athletic performance. It is often used to relieve pain, reduce swelling and inflammation, and provide support to joints and muscles. The elasticity or stretchiness of kinesiology tape allows for movement. So it's like when you got to put 7 patches on one side and 7 patches down the other side. Come on. It's all for show anyways, but it looked stupid. It came off dumb. And Orange Cassidy worked fine. He's worked an Orange Cassidy match, basically. Daniel Monax says Jay White should have signed with WWE at this point. Well, he would have. Maybe he would have. But apparently the word was that last year, Vince took back over and they didn't contact him again. Like, they had contact with Jay White. Vince took back over, and all of a sudden on WWE side, he got ghosted, basically. So, not on him, that's on them. Triple H may have wanted him, but who knows? We got a very interesting vignette. The Bastard Pack is coming back. He was shown saying Tony Khan will never get rid of him. That was a weird line. He said, I'm like a cockroach. Pac said that he will be back very soon and takes this festering scrotum, will take this festering scrotum of a company into the new age. Pac asks, doesn't it feel good to be alive? Now you should ask Darby that question. Doesn't it feel good to be alive? Because Darby almost fucking killed himself tonight. Then we had Chris Stanley versus Willow Nightingale against Julia Hart versus Sky Blue. I honestly did not see this match at all, but I know Statlander and Nightingale did win. But I did not see this match on the pre-show. Yeah, like I said, I was cooking dinner, trying to get it all cooked before the show started. And we had really bad winds tonight. So this damn barbecue and these charcoal did not want to light properly. So I had to take matters into my own hands and do some finagling to get this grill going. So yeah. But the pre-show match is the 12-man tag. That tells you everything you need to know about that 12-man freaking tag. Where there are so many guys in this match that guys had to stand on the floor because there are too many guys to stand on the goddamn apron. 12-man tag went 12 minutes, 25 seconds. This tag went 13 minutes and 30 seconds. But again, Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander defeated TBS champion Julia Hart and Sky Blue. But one of them probably going to get a TBS title shot. I think I read and saw Willow pinned Julia. I could be wrong there. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah. Nightingale won with the Dr. Bomb. Then we go to our main show. AEW Revolution main card opened up with the TNT title on the line. Christian Cage versus Daniel Garcia. But first off, they said it's showtime. And you know what that means. Scalper welcomes us alongside Nigel McGuinness and Tony Schiavone as we're ready for our opening contest. That was a good opener. I mean, yeah, we had the dumb outside interference stuff from the patriarchy and all that, but you come to expect it now. Garcia came to the ring with a Sting-inspired leather jacket. We were told, at least. They said he was given this by rapper Westside Gunn. No clue who that is. Both men then took turns raising the TNT title before locking up. And Cage got the early advantage with the takedown, but Garcia responded with a shoulder tackle. And Cage regrouped outside. Cage then turned a leapfrog over... I wrote that. Whoa, what did I... Oh, Cage tried to leap over the... back inside the ring and crumbled, folding his leg for some reason. Garcia then believed him, thought he was hurt, and Cage suckered him in with a cheap shot. Garcia tried fighting back with some corner punches, but Cage dumped him to the floor and hit a dive on the outside. Nigel McGuinness called Cage a fighting champion by not taking a count-out victory here and throwing Garcia back in the ring for way more punishment. Garcia avoided a kill switch and chopped out the leg, zoning in on the left ankle of Christian Cage. Cage rolled out of an ankle lock and continuously sent Garcia to the floor, trying for a count-out, which, of course, McGuinness supported. Like, okay, don't win by count-out, but you win by... It was weird. Nigel is Nigel, I will say. Garcia dodged a charging Nick Wayne, sending him into the ring announce table before fighting off Cage and getting back in the ring. Garcia connected with the flying clothesline before pulling Cage's shirt over his head and delivering 10 corner punches with his signature dance to cap everything off. The whole... Yeah. There's a dragon screw out of the corner. Like, Cage was on the ropes. And this led to a series of near falls from Garcia. Cage then got in a body shot, tried his slingshot right hand, but his leg gave away from being worked over, and Garcia loudly smashed Cage into the steps. Cage begged off back in the ring, but managed to hit a reverse DDT for a 2. Garcia avoided a frog splash and turned it into an ankle lock as Cage rolled out again. This time he was planted with a stalling back suplex, though. Cage answered by violently slingshotting Garcia into the corner as Cage took the ref and kill switch, hit the choke slam. Cage connected with a frog splash, but Garcia kicked out. Kill switch then took off his armor, frustrated as Daddy Magic Matt Menard would attack from behind. Shayna Wayne then tried to slap him, but Menard cut her off and brawled with kill switch to the back. Cage, meanwhile, tried a spear on Garcia, but the leg gave away, and Garcia hit a snap pile driver for a close 2. Garcia then hit a jackknife pin, but Cage got the rope break. Shane Wayne then took referee Aubrey Edwards as Nick flew in with a cutter, and Cage hit the kill switch and got the victory. Way too much outside interference for my liking. So, yeah, I thought the two worked well together, but again, way too much outside interference. Christian's still your TNT champion. In the back, Lexi Nair was with Bryan Danielson warming up, talking about how Danielson knows Eddie Kingston's weakness and will make him tap out tonight. Danielson's music hits, and so he's focused and doesn't want to talk anymore before his match. Renee is back with Eddie, getting in some last minute preparations as he dedicates this match to Jun Akiyama, his hero. So this is a great war of a match. This match was so good. If you take the Sting Spectacle main event out of it, I would say second best match of the night. The Sting thing the Sting match just stands on an island of its own, just because for what it wasn't a match. It was just a spectacle for Sting's final match. But I would say this was the second best match of the night, with Ospreay Takeshita as the match of the night. Also, the last match, Christian and Garcia, 1650. This one went 1945. A loud dueling chants from the crowd as Danielson threw an early kick to the knee, but buckled Kingston. Both traded loud chops, with Kingston firing off machine gun chops, leading to a Saito suplex and a tope to the outside. More chops on the apron as Danielson lured Kingston to the corner, ducked a chop, and Kingston chopped the post. Danielson hit a suplex off the apron to the floor for a loud thud. Danielson then wrenched at the right hand back inside, stomping on the wrist to follow. Danielson then dove off the top, but was caught with an exploder suplex for the reset, allowing Kingston to recover. Kingston then drove Danielson down with a DDT before locking in the stretch plum. With Kingston's arm weakened, Danielson escaped easily, but Kingston was there with some anvil elbows. Danielson then avoided the half and half suplex, connecting with a series of corner drop kicks. Kingston then sidestepped the last one, so Danielson planted him with a dragon sleeper suplex for a 2. Kingston then consistently fought out of the corner until Danielson hit a corner drop kick and an avalanche butterfly suplex into a submission. But Kingston got the ropes. Anvil elbows from Danielson as Kingston fought out of a regalplex, hit a spinning back fist and a Northern Lights bomb for a close near fall. Kingston hit another back fist with his bad arm, so Danielson absorbed it, punted out of the bad arm, and hit the Busaku knee for a 2, and Danielson couldn't believe that he kicked out. Danielson then hammered down with some boots and locked in a triangle choke, the same way Kingston went to sleep last Wednesday on AEW Dynamite. Kingston started to fade, but then raised his hand and got to the ropes. Kingston started absorbing kicks, so Danielson switched to kicking the bad arm. Both men then hit an incredible sequence of half and half suplexes and whatnot before both collapsed to a loud ovation from the crowd. This when it just really started ramping up. Both then rose to their feet and swung wildly with slaps until Danielson back dropped out of a powerbomb, tried the Busaku knee, but Kingston hit a lariat and a stack powerbomb to pick up the victory and retain the Continental Crown. So there we go. Eddie Kingston, still Continental Crown champion. Whatever that really does mean. Post-match, Danielson faked the handshake and then ultimately showed him the ultimate respect by raising his arm. Remember, the rule or the stipulation was if Danielson loses, he's got to shake Eddie's hand and show him respect. Well, he showed him a lot of respect. A lot of respect. So let me move on to the scramble. What the fuck was this match? This was just a bunch of guys beating the crap out of each other till Wardlow eventually won. How is this a scramble match? I want to read you guys something. Pro Wrestling Scramble match. I don't know the definition of a scramble match. And granted, this is the WWE definition of a scramble match, but it says a scramble match is a match that is made up of multiple competitors. There is a time limit, usually 20 minutes, and every 5 minutes a new wrestler comes out. And when all 5 wrestlers are in the ring, each time a wrestler's let me reread this. So the match starts with 2 wrestlers in the ring with a 20-minute time limit. Every 5 minutes, another wrestler comes out. Now, that can be varied. Each time a wrestler scores a pinfall, they are considered the current champion/winner of the match. At the end of the 20 minutes, whoever still is considered the winner is the winner. That's not what this match was. That's not what the hell this match was at all. I don't know what this match was other than a fatal 8-way. A fatal 8-way. There's a whole bunch started. Also, Taz tagged in on commentary. McGinnis out, Taz in. Made sense. Hook's in this match. But, yeah. This was just everyone out there and just doing stuff. Until eventually, Wardlow pinned Dante Martin. So it starts off, we got the big guys in there. Archer, Wardlow, Cage, Hobbs. And they do the big meaty men stuff. So they're all going at it. They're fighting. Everybody else is not really doing anything. And there are shoulder tackles and clotheslines and meat chants and all this until it was just Archer and Wardlow at one point. Archer then walked the top rope into a moonsault. Tried to do the same to Hobbs, but Hobbs caught him with a spine buster. Cage flew in with the Death Valley driver before Wardlow hit a step-up Hurricane Rana. Jericho then finally jumped in and hit a code breaker out of nowhere as Hook broke up a pin attempt. With the meat man out, Jericho, Hook, Martin, and Magnus all started jumping in and doing things. Taz called this mini-meat. Now I'm like, okay, cool. Jericho then opted to leap off the top to the outside onto Hobbs. Martin wiped out Wardlow. Magnus took out Archer, and Hook was in the ring all by himself and hit a double sledge on Cage. So more stuff happened. That's exactly where I wrote my notes because I couldn't keep up with some of this. It was just like stuff after stuff after stuff. Cameras weren't even catching everything. Everyone slowly got back into the ring at one point. And we got 4 superplexes, capped off with Cage hitting one from the apron back into the ring on Hook. Martin then flew in with a frog splash, leaving all 8 men down. Martin ran wild with dives, clipping his foot on one of them, but he recovered and took out Jericho with a crossbody for a 2. Magnus then came in with a tiger feint kick and a butterfly underhook backbreaker on Martin, leading to a corner double knee. Now, here's my question about Magnus. Magnus looked great in this match. I've never seen Magnus before, never heard of Magnus before. But why are you giving a guy that is not an AEW wrestler a shot to get a shot at the world title? This makes no sense. So stupid. This match should have been your top guys. Should have been top AEW wrestlers. You've got Jericho. Cool. You've got Hobbs. Cool. You've got Wardlow. Cool. You've got Hook. Cool. But in what reality right now is Magnus, Dante Martin, Lance Archer, and Brian Cage considered top of the card guys? No disrespect. Like, you should have took Magnus out and put in somebody that's an actual AEW wrestler. No. This was just Tony Khan playing TWE. And we all knew Wardlow was winning because this got changed from the Meaty Men match, the Meat Madness, to this. And, yeah, I wasn't a fan of this match. It was just too much of overbooking shit and spots for spots' sake. And, I just wasn't a fan. It was, for me, it was too much. At one point, Archer wanted to go for the blackout, but Jericho made the save and hit a double suplex with Magnus before both hit stereo lion salts on Archer. At one point in the ring, Cage spun out of a powerbomb, but was leveled by a Wardlow wind-up lariat. Wardlow then hit the powerbomb, but Martin nearly stole it with a roll-up. Martin then hit the nosedive on Archer, but was clobbered in midair by Wardlow, who fought off Hook with a wind-up lariat before dropping Martin with a last ride powerbomb and pinning him to pick up the victory. So Wardlow will be getting a shot at the AEW World Championship. As we move on, next up, we had Orange Cassidy defending the AEW International Championship against Roderick Strong. Fun match. Strong lived up to his moniker of the Messiah of the Backbreaker, that's for sure, and really worked over the back of Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy is great at playing the babyface in peril. So, a super quick start. Strong missed a sick kick and a heartache with the taped up Cassidy getting multiple near falls early on, trying to go for the win early. Also, forgot to mention it in that backstage promo earlier. think it was Trent was like, hey, if you need us, we'll be there. We're going to be there because, the numbers are not going to be in your favor. And he goes, no, I'm good. I don't want you guys' help before, during, or after the match. Strong wasn't messing around and with his hands in, messing around with the hands in the pocket stuff from Cassidy and hit a pendulum backbreaker before going outside and hitting one into the barricade. Cassidy then fought back with a tope and a crossbody off the top back inside. But with his bad ribs, there was a delay, allowing Strong to regain the advantage. Multiple backbreakers and chops led to Strong hitting a gut-wrench backbreaker on the top turnbuckle in an incredible spot. Strong then mocked the little kicks before unleashing chops that buckled Cassidy. Strong then connected with a rib breaker. Cassidy then hit a desperation stun dog millionaire, but was unable to follow up with it. Strong then locked on the stronghold, and Cassidy did get to the ropes to break it. Strong caught a boot and planted Cassidy with another backbreaker before getting the stronghold applied yet again. Cassidy kicked out and hit the round the world at DDT before, going to the top rope and hitting a DDT for a 2. Cassidy ramped up the intensity of kicks before connecting with the Panama Sunrise for a near fall. Strong countered the orange punch into another backbreaker, hit a rising knee, and Cassidy exploded with an orange punch and a backbreaker again, but Strong got to the ropes. Cassidy took too long to go for another orange punch, and Strong fired up with a knee strike, hit the end of Heartache, pinned Orange Cassidy to become the new AEW International Champion. So, 3 of the 5 members in the Undisputed Kingdom now have championships. The ROH Tag Titles are with The Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. The International Championship, the AEW International Championship, is with Strong, Roderick Strong. And now, Wardlow needs to get a belt. And Cole needs to get a belt. Post-match, Mike Bennett and Matt Taven hit the ring to celebrate and hoist up Strong on their shoulders, when all of a sudden, Kyle O'Reilly would appear behind them out of nowhere. He hugged Strong, and Mike Bennett gave him an Undisputed Kingdom shirt, but O'Reilly refused to take the shirt, whispered something we don't know in the ear of Arati, and then left all by himself with new long hair and a Tam Nakano shirt. I think it was a Tam Nakano shirt or Bull Nakano, one of those two. So, yeah, I don't know if Kyle O'Reilly is going to be part of the Undisputed Kingdom or if he's going to be against the Undisputed Kingdom. Trying to think where they can go with this. I really don't know. Like, I would say maybe he gets Cole to leave the group, but like Cole leads the group. Cole is the group. Cole was the devil. And so Cole can't just be like, oh, I'm not in this group anymore. Kyle swayed me out of it to be a good guy. That'd just be so stupid. Then who would be leading it? Roddy? But yeah, I don't know where they're going with this Kyle O'Reilly stuff. He didn't do anything physical, so we don't know if he's cleared, but I would assume he's not coming back if he's not cleared. So I guess we have to wait till next week's Dynamite to figure out exactly what this all means. And speaking of, actually, we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about next week's Dynamite later. So we had Jon Moxley and Clyde Castagnoli versus FTR. And like, this was a story of 2 matches. It was a okay tag match until Dax started bleeding, and they were just like, blood, go! And it just ramped up to the umpteenth degree once Dax started bleeding, and that was like the cue of, all right, kick it into high gear. We shifted into 5th. Drop the hammer, as they say. Smack that clutch, pull it down into 5th, and Moxley and Castagnoli came to the crowd wearing spiked shoulder blades, or shoulder pads, reminiscent of the Road Warriors. Call them the RWCC, the Road Warrior Combat Club. Castagnoli and Harwood started off trading pin attempts early on, but that quickly switched to a slap battle, which rocked Harwood a stiff there was a stiff uppercut and a chop exchange that led to both collapsing and tagging their respective partners in. There was an exchange by Taz and Tony Schiavone about, they compared Moxley to Dean Martin. I was like, what? And then he's like, well, Dean Martin was drunk half the time. And I'm like, no, don't talk. No, you not know Moxley's past? This man went to rehab for alcohol. You're going to say, he's like Dean Martin because he's drunk half the time. No. That was not it. That was not it at all. I think that was I wouldn't say ill-informed. But for what we know of Moxley's past and all that, and his, alcoholic issues, that was just an ill-advised, I would say, comment there by Taz. Literally, they were saying he was like Dean Martin, and Taz was like, yeah, and Dean Martin was drunk half the time. I'm like, you're saying Mox is drunk half the time? Please don't. So both teams were just going at it, neither team really with control, and Claudio Castagnoli then eventually dumped Wheeler to the floor, and his ribs hit very hard on the edge of the ring. This allowed Moxley to attack, and they started fighting in the front row, kind of. Wheeler remained isolated until finally Harwood made the hot tag and ran wild with some chops and a lariat. There was an O'Connor roll into a leaping crossbody off the second rope that got a near fall, as did an inside cradle. Wheeler tagged back in as Harwood was posted by Castagnoli and leveled Wheeler with a lariat for a 2. Harwood then came up bleeding on the outside, but still made a blind tag as Castagnoli was up in a powerbomb position, and they hit the Steiner-esque powerbomb in midair. Castagnoli and Moxley then hit an assisted air raid crash for a 2 as Harwood, wearing a crimson mask at this point, rose to his feet for a slugfest with Moxley, who ran into a pop-up powerbomb. FTR then connected with a spike pile driver as Wheeler wiped out Castagnoli with a dive while Moxley kicked out a 2. Castagnoli then put the stops to a powerplex attempt as he and Moxley connected on an uppercut doomsday device for a wild 2 count. All 4 men slugged it out until Moxley went to the outside, leaving Castagnoli to block the Shatter Machine into a giant swing, and Moxley hit the low dropkick in mid-revolution for a 2. Moxley then hit the head of Harwood, who spat in Moxley's face, leading to a powerbomb diving clothesline combo for a 2. They wasted no time. The action just kept going and going and going at a really fast pace here as Moxley was dropped by a Shatter Machine, but Castagnoli pulled Harwood out at a 2. Wheeler then tried to dive, but Castagnoli hit an uppercut in midair and a neutralizer on the floor. Harwood was there to lay out Castagnoli with a pile driver. Back inside the ring, Harwood and Moxley traded counters until Moxley hit a Death Rider, but Harwood would kick out and go for a crucifix pin and got a 2. Moxley applied the Bulldog choke as Castagnoli got the rear naked choke, and FTR passed out simultaneously with, the BCC getting the victory. So again, they're doing the whole, they didn't tap, they didn't get pinned, what now? So yeah, they passed out, but they didn't get pinned or tapped out. So they can now come back and go, oh, you beat us, but did you really? Yeah, you really. But I can see them doing that. So we need another one. So we had Toni Storm defending the AEW Women's World Championship against Deonna Purrazzo. So, again, this was another match where just the interference was the interference, and I didn't think the match itself was all that great anyways. But Deonna Purrazzo comes out, and then Toni Storm's old music hits, and it looks like the old Toni Storm's coming out. Backwards hat, the glasses, the little jacket, and then we finally realize once the camera gets close enough, oh, that's freaking Mariah May, and she looks just like Toni Storm in that getup. Hair maybe a little longer than we've ever seen Toni have it, but holy crap, did she look just like Toni Storm. But then Toni's music hits, and black and white Toni comes down to the ring. So Storm made her grand entrance, and they traded some takedowns early. A lot of technical wrestling early on in this match. Purrazzo baited Storm into a grappling contest and locked in the Fujiwara armbar, but Storm quickly scurried and got to the ropes. Both ladies traded forearm shots before a short arm lariat sent Storm to the outside to regroup with Luther. Purrazzo was like, I got enough of this, and hit a baseball slide. Back in the ring, Storm ran into referee Aubrey Edwards and hit a low blow to Purrazzo. Now, as a guy, they're really that effective on a female. I think Taz questioned that as well. Calvin mentioned something about the lady yam bag. As Taz always says, right in the yam bags. Storm kept Purrazzo grounded until Purrazzo absolutely leveled Storm with a shot and a series of clotheslines. A running kitchen sink and a leg sweep led to a Fujiwara armbar, but Storm rolled through it. But, right into a kick to the mush. Purrazzo connected on a flatliner for a 2. but Storm swept the leg into the corner, leading to a sweet cheek music and a spinning DDT for a very close near fall. Storm applied a break a leg ankle lock submission as Perazo fought free and sent Storm into the arms of Luther. Perazo then got to the top rope and hit a crossbody to the floor, where she looked like she almost missed all of this. Say this is Luther holding Toni Storm, and this is Deonna Purrazzo on the top rope. Deonna came down and barely clipped Luther's head. Then Luther took the bump. Yeah, this was not good. Or at least the angle we saw, it didn't look good. Because, granted, could have been better than I saw, but the angle that we saw then made it look like she jumped almost over them. They go back inside the ring where Perazo got the Fujiwara armbar, but Luther took the ref. Are you kidding me with this stuff? Storm was tapping, but the ref was pulled out. And the ref didn't see it. Well, not fully pulled out, but distracted. And it's like, come on, really? So much interference in AEW. Brian May then appeared and distracted Perazo long enough for Storm to hit the Storm Zero and pin her to win the match. And there we go. That was it. Not a good match, I would say. The action wasn't all that great, and there's just too much interference. Too much other people. No. Worst match of the night on the main card. Like, I didn't see both, like I said, I didn't see both pre-show matches. I did not like the 12-man tag, but if we're talking just main card, worst match of the night. Also, this match did go 12 minutes and 15 seconds. The BCC FTR match went 21:50. The International Championship match went 12:45. And the scramble, which wasn't even a scramble, went 15:45. We then go to my opinion match of the night: Will Ospreay, Konosuke Takeshita. Again, match of the night if you take out the Sting Darby stuff, because that was again something in it all in its own, to be completely honest. And so this match here, Will Ospreay and Konosuke Takeshita, goes 22 minutes. Kadeem Meltzer doesn't do 0.8s. He does 0.5s. Because he's not... Never mind. Not going to say it. He does 0.5s. But we move on to Will Ospreay and Konosuke Takeshita. This match was so good. Kicked out Taz. We brought in Don Callis on commentary. And the crowd was loudly behind Will Ospreay before the match even started. Lightning quick action here to start it off. Quick Hurricane Rana from Ospreay. Takeshita then responded with a fast Takeshita line. Takeshita then cut off Ospreay in the ropes and hit a delayed superplex for a 1. A 1. A leaping senton off the second by Takeshita got another 1 count as multiple violent hammer elbows flattened Ospreay. Stiff chops from Ospreay led to a pip, cheerio, and a corkscrew kick as Takeshita rolled to the floor where Ospreay met him with a slingshot dive. Back inside the ring, there's Kawada kicks from Ospreay, but Takeshita fought back and hit a running boot and a somersault dive to the floor. Back in the ring, Takeshita wanted a top rope senton, but Ospreay got his knees up, allowing Ospreay to hit the leap of faith, but rolled out and was dropped on his head with a German suplex for a 2. Ospreay then hit a wall walk and Zaguri. Takeshita then answered with another German, charged at him, but ran right into a Spanish fly for a double down spot. Both then started trading forearms till Ospreay hit a hook kick and crumbled Takeshita. Ospreay connected with the rolling elbow, and the ref checked on Takeshita here, who rose to his feet and absolutely leveled Ospreay with multiple forearms. Ospreay tried more Kawada kicks, but Takeshita swung for the fences, and Ospreay collapsed. A wild series of counters and brutal should be back live. I do apologize for the inconvenience there, but everything should be back up here in a matter of seconds. Give it just 1 second. Let me just double check. Yeah, I think we're good. If you guys can still see me, put a 1 or a something in the chat to let me know we're back live on both YouTube or Twitch. For some reason, stuff just froze up on me. I don't know why. But so Ospreay goes for the Oz Cutter, and as he's flying backwards for this Oz Cutter, boom, he gets caught, swung around, like Takeshita spins around, hits the blue thunder bomb. Such a cool looking spot. Like, this was awesome. We've got their crowd hyped. Ospreay, though, fought off a Chaos Theory, hit more hook kicks, and finally hit an Os Cutter for a 2. Ospreay signaled for a hidden blade, but Takeshita struck with the forearm, and Ospreay barely got a shoulder up. It was just that close to being 3. He managed to hit a cheeky Nando's kick, but Takeshita held on to avoid a corner Hurricane Rana. Instead, Takeshita pulled Ospreay up from the mat in a violent avalanche brainbuster that I thought killed Will Ospreay. Throw on the top rope, picks him up like him with a suplex, and then just drops. And oh my God, I thought Ospreay was dead. Ospreay's just laying there for a second. He's writhing in pain because his back is hurt. Oh my, we don't need to do spots like this. That spot could have gone so wrong. We don't need to be doing spots like that. Takeshita hit a charging knee, but Ospreay managed to kick out. Takeshita took too long for another knee, and Ospreay blocked into a Stun Dog Millionaire and a Poison Rana. Takeshita then spun out of a Stormbreaker into a crunchy, but a wheelbarrow German suplex, but then Ospreay exploded, hit the hidden blade, only for Takeshita to kick out at a 1. At a 1. We got a hell of a sequence here. Come down towards the finish. Both men were dueling with rolling elbows, but Takeshita ran through Ospreay with the lariat. Ospreay then blocked a jumping knee into a Styles Clash for a 2. Ospreay then broke out a scary-looking Storm Driver 93 and a hidden blade flush to pick up the victory. Such a good match. Oh my God. Don Callis jumps in the ring and celebrates with Ospreay before checking on Takeshita as Kyle Fletcher comes down to the ring. Ospreay and Takeshita showed respect to one another as Ospreay and Fletcher then embraced. And they tell us, this Wednesday on Dynamite, we're going to get more action from the Don Callis family as Will Ospreay will be taking on Kyle Fletcher. And in doing so, let's show you this here on the screen. They confirmed the new logo for AEW Dynamite. That was a bad image, but let's pull this up here really fast. Boom, boom, boom. As you see, they confirmed the new logo for Dynamite. We got a new AEW Dynamite logo. Again, this is a very bad image because it was really small. The way it's saved for some reason was very small. But regardless, boom. New Dynamite logo. We're also getting a new Dynamite stage this Wednesday as well. Oops, the intro replayed. My bad, guys. We're getting a new stage as well. According to Andrew Zarian on Wrestling Observer Live today, I think he said the tunnels are back. The tunnels are back for the new AEW stage. So we got 2 matches left. Now on the pre-show, Renee Paquette had said your main event, triple threat for the world title. So I'm like, oh, it's going on last? And then this match did not go on last. So I've got some questions here. What's the goddamn motivation for the Hangman? Is it really make sure Swerve don't win at all cost, even if it's me losing? Because he tapped out to the Coquina Clutch from Samoa Joe at the end, and then commentary goes, well, there's a question to be answered here. Did he tap out because of the rear naked choke, or did he tap out just so the match could end and Swerve could not win? If it's the latter, that's so stupid. Now, I get it. You're the heel. You hate this guy. You don't want him to be world champion. Okay, do what you got to do. But at what cost to the world title? Because if Hangman is in this match only to make sure Swerve don't win, then what does that say for the world title that he doesn't care enough to actually try to win the world title? That he would rather this match end than Swerve win. End with him losing than Swerve win. I get it as a heel, you want to do everything you can to make sure your rival doesn't win. But then you basically tell us world title doesn't mean goddamn shit to me. Doesn't mean anything. Then what are we, as the fans watching, supposed to think of the world title? Are we supposed to care about the world title? If your former world champion don't fucking care about the world title? Come on. Like, this was stupid. Stupid. So Jim Ross was on commentary for this match, kicked out Don, and Don wasn't staying anyways. And Jim Ross called the last 2 matches with Excalibur, and Shivani. So early on, Strickland did a diving uppercut out of the corner. Joe follows up, laying out Strickland with a tope and cutting Page off with a dive as well. Joe was then low-bridged to the floor as Page did a fall-away slam on Strickland, but both men kipped up. Strickland connected with the head scissors and followed this up with an uppercut before turning the attention to Joe and delivering an uppercut off the apron. Joe broke up the Page-Strickland scuffle in the ring with some running corner boots to both Page and a high-stack powerbomb into an STF and a crossface transition. Strickland then broke it up and started a forearm battle with Joe, proving to be a terrible idea for him as Joe won the exchange. Strickland then avoided a muscle buster and a superplex before a headbutt crumbled Strickland to the floor. Joe took far too long to follow up, landing an unintentional double team powerbomb from Strickland and Page working together briefly. Then they had a little intense face-off here. Page hit a violent lariat to the neck, a right hand that woke up Strickland. Strickland's now bleeding slightly from under his eye. Booted Joe to the floor, and Page moonsaulted out of the corner into a tombstone on Strickland for a 2. Joe broke up the pin. Page avoided an STO and cracked Joe with a big boot. Strickland then countered a deadeye into a powerbomb stack and a vertical suplex. Strickland then let Joe connect with a muscle buster on Page, giving him time to hit a swerve stomp and a house call on Joe. Instead of covering Joe, though, Strickland set his sights on Hangman. He hit a house call, but Page kicked out. Joe then came in with some Kawada kicks on Strickland. He went to the corner, but was hung up, and Strickland hit his DDT, the 450 splash. And Strickland follows up the swerve stomp, but Page pulled the leg of the ref and decked him in the process. Just beat the shit out of the ref. Page grabbed the AEW title and leveled Strickland multiple times with it. Page connected on multiple buckshot lariats on Joe, but there was no ref at the time because of Hangman. Finally, referee Bryce Remsburg would run down and only counted 2 because, well, it took too long, and Joe kicked out. Page went for a third buckshot, but Joe slapped on the coquina clutch. Strickland flew in with a sky twister press on everybody that was down. Prince Nana then threw him the crown, and Strickland threw it right back, saying, I'm doing this the right way. I'm not cheating. So basically, we saw full double turn because Joe then sank in the coquina clutch. Strickland countered into a roll-up, but Page broke it up, beating the referee like the fucking piss out of this referee. Like, the ref's face down, Hangman's on top of him, just going, just destroying Bryce Remsburg. And so it's like, if you weren't sold that Swerve's now a complete babyface and Hangman's a complete heel, they told you tonight. Everyone then took turns delivering lariats as Page laid out Joe with the buckshot, but Strickland hit one of his own on Page before hitting a JML driver. Joe then popped back up and hit a brutal half-and-half suplex on Strickland before applying the coquina clutch on Hangman. Another referee had come down, and Hangman just taps out. And there we go. Swerve could not break it up. Commentary, like I said, then was like, did he tap because of the move, or did he tap just the end of the match so Swerve couldn't win? If it's the latter, like I said, stupid. Makes the world title not seem that great. So then they tell us we got a new pay-per-view coming on Sunday, April 21st from St. Louis, Missouri. It is AEW Dynasty. Cool. Another pay-per-view they're going to make you pay $50 for. It's got a shitty logo. Pull this logo up on the screen. I did not like this logo at all. As a logo guy myself, not a fan. Not a fan in the least bit of this Dynasty logo. Pull this up here. So, like, take this St. Louis Arch out of it. Like, that's just, oh my God, dumb. Like, I get it. It's in St. Louis. So when it's not in St. Louis the following year, what are you going to put there? Regardless, just the logo itself. Too plain. Not a fan of the font. The super stretched out font like it is. Same for me. Same for me. I would have doing it again. Playing the intro. My bad, guys. I would have done it just differently. I really would have done the logo differently. So yeah, not a big fan of the logo here. So before the main event match, which was Sting and Darby Allin defending the tag titles against the Young Bucks. They showed us a bunch of people in at ringside. They then brought out some guests, Ric Flair and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. They showed us Magnum TA, Nikita Koloff, Scotty Riggs, and then there was also a video. Excuse me. They didn't show him on screen, but Lex Luger was there too. So it's like, this match can't be compared to anything else on the show. This was just a spectacle all on its own. So they brought back the Cody Vader for the Bucks. They came up through the floor wearing black and white robes. They, instead of having Young Bucks money fly out, they had Young Bucks business cards. Then we cut to an old movie theater, and they start showing moments of Sting's career. That was not really much. They showed stuff of him in New Japan. They showed like 2 photos of him in WCW, and then it just cuts to AEW. Now, granted, I didn't think they were going to show any NWA, WCW, or even WWE photos or footage. I didn't think they were going to show any of that. But what shocked me was no TNA footage at all. No TNA images that I noticed. Nothing from TNA either, which really, really shocked me. I thought TNA would have played ball and gave him footage, because that's, how many years was Sting there? 12 years or so? Sting. How many years was he in TNA? Overall, he was in TNA from started in 2003, left in 2014. So 11 years he was in TNA. Multi-time world champion, main event Mafia, Joker Sting was born in TNA. So it's like really weird that there was no TNA footage or anything. But he's watching this in the building, or in the theater. They show the cover of him on PWI. And then we cut back to the building. Well, first Sting looks in the camera and goes, "It's showtime. For the last time. Let's do it." Really cool video, though. I will say that. And so we cut back to the building. And I don't even know how to explain this, but this is awesome. Guy walks out. Blonde, flat top, wearing Surfer Sting makeup and Sting's USA gear from back in the day. And it's one of Sting's sons. Then Wolfpack Sting comes out. Sting's other son. Finally, current Sting, real Sting, Steve Borden, walks out, and it's him and his 2 boys. Oh my God, was this cool. As Metallica's Seek and Destroy is playing through the Greensboro Coliseum for the final time. So, Darby's already out there. They come out there, and they waste no time at all, just going straight after the Bucks in the ring. Both he and Sting deliver stereo stinger splashes and coffin splashes. Sting's sons then also get their revenge on the Young Bucks by hitting stinger splashes in the corners as well. Sting then sank in a double scorpion deathlock, but the Jacksons got out of it and Sting just fell on his butt. Sting's sons then helped set up some stuff at ringside. Tables, chairs, and panes of glass. They also pulled out a 20-foot ladder and threw it in the ring. This is when I go, yep, this match is just a spectacle. This match, in retrospect, can't be compared to anything else, especially on this show. So they've got 4 chairs set up at the end of the ramp, and they put a pane of glass on it. And I'm watching with my roommate, and he's like, "Oh, what's that going to be for?" And I'm like, "I'll tell you right now, Darby's going through that glass. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not a Young Buck. Darby's going through that glass because he's the one crazy enough to take this spot." And sure enough, Darby almost killed himself tonight. Like, I swear to God, Darby Allin could have died. And that's not a joke or me just saying, "Oh, Darby almost died. Darby almost killed himself." That's what, no. That was an unnecessary, like, people are going to remember this forever, but unnecessary spot. So unnecessary. At least when Sammy Guevara did this spot a couple weeks ago, A, he landed on Hobbs, and B, they went through tables. Tables are going to break your fall. Hobbs is going to break your goddamn fall. This was not that. Oh my God. So they're all fighting around and doing things and this and that, and there's all this stuff going on. And then like Darby hits Nick Jackson and he kind of just falls. And I'm like, did he fall on the glass? Where did he fall? We didn't see it. The camera's just on Darby, setting up this ladder in the ring, opening it up and climbing. Darby then does a swanton off this ladder to the floor and just boom through the glass onto the floor. Rolls to his belly and his back is just dripping blood, pouring blood. He's laying there motionless. And I'm like, people are going to remember this spot forever. Whether that's in a good way or a bad way, but probably mostly in a bad way of that did not need to happen. That was a very, in my opinion, unnecessary spot that Darby is going to be feeling for a very long time. He told Sting after the show, I got to go to the doctor. I got to go to a hospital. I'll talk to you later. So he went through the glass, landed hard on his back just all kinds of cut up, bleeding instantly. And it's 2-on-1. They're going after Sting, the Bucks, in the ring. So Sting swung a baseball bat at Nicholas, who dodged, and Sting broke another pane of glass that was leaning up against the ring. Basically, Sting like had the bat, hit the glass, and it didn't break, so he goes, woo, and hits it again. Like, you're just going to have a piece of glass there just to break it with the bat? Okay, this match is off the fucking rails. And from here on, it was off the fucking rails. So Sting was brought back into the ring. Nicholas was bleeding as well at this point. They set up a table. The Bucks then mocked Sting's howl, but did friendly fire by missing a corner kick. And so they hit each other. Well, Nicholas kicked Matthew in the face. Sting then beat down Matthew, setting him on a table, and then climbed the ladder and was more or less powerbombed off the middle of this 20-foot ladder through the table. But then Sting just stood up and no-sold going through the table off the ladder. The Bucks then sent Sting into a pane of glass that was sitting in the corner. So there was a pane of glass propped up in the corner, and they just hip tossed basically Sting through it. Matthew then hit a low blow and a scorpion death drop, but Sting kicked out. Nicholas then went to grab the tag titles, and Ricky Steamboat would stop him before he was decked by Matthew. Flair then went into the ring and basically laid on Sting, was like, don't leave him alone. He can't take anymore. And they said, screw you, old man. And he's double super kicked Rick in the face. He also double super kicked Steamboat for his troubles as well. Matthew then leveled Sting with a title, but Sting kicked out. Bucks then hit double super kick on Sting, who no-sold it, as they told him, we're not sorry, we don't love you. Sting went, boo. Ah! No-sold the double super kick. Delivered double lariats and a scorpion death drop to Matthew for a 2. Sting went for another, but Matthew rolled through and the Bucks hit the EVP trigger. But Sting kicked out. The Bucks then shook Sting's hand and said, it was a pleasure doing business, and hit another EVP trigger. But Sting, once again, kicked out, but this time at 1. Sting then told them, bring it, as he ate his super kick. And then the Bucks went for the Tony Khan driver, but Allen flew back in and shoved Nicholas off the top rope through a table on the outside before they can hit it. Sting then hit a scorpion death drop on Matthew and only got a 2 off of it. Allen then jumped off the top rope with a bloody back for a coffin drop before Sting sank in a scorpion death lock on Matthew, who tapped out. The crowd absolutely exploded for this finish, and it was awesome. Also, for some reason, I didn't write anything about the stuff on the stage. My notes, I must have not. I don't know what happened. So there was a spot on the stage where Nicholas suplexed Darby off of one side of the stage through tables. Matthew suplexed Sting off of one side of the stage through tables. For some reason, I didn't write that in my notes. Really odd. Unless I accidentally skipped over it. But yeah. So Sting makes Matthew tap. They retain the titles. And now what? Vacate the belts and tournament for the titles? Darby's just no longer tag champ because Sting's gone? Unless Darby's going to get a new partner? I don't know who it would be. So I think they just vacate the belts and Darby moves on. Sting's family is shown celebrating at ringside as confetti pours through the ring. Darby then grabs the mic. He's like, hey, we only got 3 minutes, but let's give it up for Stinger. Sting then takes the mic and said he's been thanking the crowd in Greensboro since March of '88 when he wrestled Ric Flair to a draw. Sting said that he wanted tonight to be the night wrestling fans would never forget. And this was indeed a night they're never going to fucking forget with that Darby spot. Sting then thanked Darby. He's like, I know you're a risk taker. You're like me when I was young. I was a risk taker. I might still be a little bit of a risk taker. He goes, but I just want to say, and then Darby comes and goes, Sting's like, hold on, I got to stop talking for a second. They give me my cue. And then the show goes off the air and it's like, beep, end of broadcast for All Elite Wrestling. And that's it. But you can go on Twitter. Sean Rossappa, Fightful, Denise Salcedo recorded the whole thing from the building and posted it on social media. So if you want to see Sting's full stuff, you can go out there, see Tony Khan go, I'm going up for Sting. And then you got Tony Schiavone going, do I do it one more time? How much are you going to pay me, Tony Khan? It's Sting. So yeah. John says they vacated the titles during the media scrum. Okay, been live doing this. Haven't seen the media scrum, not on social media. So cool. Thanks for letting me know. But yeah, that was AEW Revolution and Sting's last match. What did you guys think of the show? Let's put the poll up on Twitch really fast. What did you think of AEW Revolution? I liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. Let me know on Twitch what you thought of the show. Also, remember, you guys can call in 510-906-1341. Again, that's 510-906-1341. Let's pull that up. Get that all ready as well. If you guys do want to call in, give me your thoughts on the show, Sting's final match, Hangman, all of that good stuff. But while we wait for any potential calls, go check the polls, refresh everything here. Refresh. As far as on Facebook, I said, what did you guys think of the show? This person says, I was there. It was awesome. A proper send-off for a legend. And we do have a call coming, so let's take this really fast. Caller, you're on the air. What did you think of the show tonight?
Tim, I wanted to tell you I was at Revolution tonight.
Heck yeah. What'd you think?
So the Sting's last match, insane, but it was excellent. Tony Storm match could have been better, but it sucked.
Yes.
And honestly, I'm still in the car. We're driving 3 hours. I live in Virginia.
Wow.
And we were listening, and we always listen to you, for the recaps and whatnot.
I appreciate that.
We love yeah, and we wanted to say thank you for everything you do, Tim.
Thank you for listening.
I wanted to throw that in. And so anyways, you was talking about the Luther spot. He actually got hit in the head.
Okay, that's what it looked like barely.
Yeah, and I looked at my friends. I'm like, holy shit! I was like, oh my god!
Right.
But now I tell you, the Will Ospreay and the Takeshita match. Oh my god! Oh wow!
Yeah.
I was, anyways, I would probably give it just a 4.0. I think, in my perspective.
Okay.
But
that sounds about right.
Yeah, and that's just being there live, but it was something special. And what the hell is the scramble match? We were like, this is not even a scramble match.
Yeah,
this is just something.
They called it a scramble, and it was just 8 guys fighting till someone finally won. It was 15 minutes, and it was nothing. Yeah, I honestly don't know.
No, we were like, everybody in the crowd was like, where's the time clock?
Exactly.
Like, okay. But anyways, but yeah, it was a great match. But also, here's my question for you, and we've been talking about in the car. So after Collision was over with yesterday, there was this part where Maria May and Tony Storm, where she was trying to embrace Tony, she ignores her. So does that mean that she's not going to have her in her corner no more, or is that just
No,
Tony being Tony?
Yes. So basically what this is they're slowly, eventually the overall plan eventually is Mariah May challenging Tony Storm for the championship. That's the overall plan. But what that really was on Collision was, we know Tony Storm really doesn't care for Mariah May, but if she needs her,
Right.
She knows Mariah's there to help her if she needs it. But in the long term, she doesn't care about Mariah May, and she's the star of the show. Mariah May is nothing more than the extra that helps her sometimes.
Exactly. And also what's the point of Hangman? I'm lost with that old storyline.
Yeah, so you were there live and didn't hear commentary. Commentary basically asked the question of, did Hangman tap because of the choke, or did Hangman tap just so he can end the match and make sure Swerve didn't win? In my opinion, that makes the world title not seem that significant, at least to Hangman.
Oh God, no! It's stupid.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you again, Tim, for taking my call.
No problem.
And I've been a long time subscriber since 2015 with you, and always love listening to your program.
I really do appreciate that, and hope you guys have a safe drive home.
All right, thank you. Have a good night yourself.
You too. But that, remember, guys, you can call in 510-906-1341. But let's check some of these. Where did those Facebook comments go that we were reading? So Liz Morrison says, I was there live. A proper send-off to a legend. Thank you, Sting. They said, nosebleeds, but whatever. And they have a picture here. I think it's just a long nosebleed shot. As far as the, as far as the Threads poll does go, 79% likes the show, 13% thought it was just all right, and 8% didn't like it. Looking at the Twitter poll, 79% liked the show, 20% thought it was just all right. Looking over at the YouTube community poll, that may not have posted for some reason. May not have a community poll. Nope, the community poll for some reason didn't post. Do apologize for that. But let's look at the live poll, Twitch live, YouTube live poll. 84% liked the show, 11% thought it was just all right, and 5% didn't like it. And finally, everybody that voted on Twitch liked the show. But yeah, that was AEW Dynamite, or not Dynamite, Revolution. Used to saying Dynamite. That was AEW Revolution. A really good show. I thought, for the most part, a lot of great wrestling. And yeah, a wild and wacky send-off for the man named Sting, the icon of professional wrestling. With that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, App Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. With that, we'll be back tomorrow after Monday Night Raw. So have a good night